Hello everyone, my name is Dorian and welcome to another track guide with the LMP2. We are at Nurburgring GP, doing it for ILMS and Endurance ILMS coming up this week. I might actually participate in the 6 hour if I can find a teammate. And I'm just going to show you guys the lap real quick and then we're going to go over it corner by corner. If you enjoyed it, if you liked it at all, if it helped you, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think about it, if I can do anything better, if you want to see more of these, and hop over to my Discord as well. That's it. Let's get on the track. Okay, so we're coming up to turn number 1. Let's look for a braking point. It's going to be right before the 100, sort of when you can see the tarmac turns into a gravel or dirt, whatever it is here. That's sort of my braking point. So right as I cross it, I'm going to start hitting the brakes. Now, the amount of fuel that you have in the track conditions are going to vary your brake distance here. So these conditions, pretty optimal. I was able to brake quite late. I would recommend with a heavy car and maybe a couple C of a harder track, I would try braking right around here. So keep that in mind. It could vary. At the latter part of your race, you might want to brake later here. So it will depend. Braking very hard, staying on the left the whole way through. I'm staying over 70%, 75, maybe 80% here. After the 50, I'm going to start releasing it ever so slightly. I'm still braking very hard. We're braking downhill, coming off of really high speed straight. So you really want to try to reduce the speed as fast as you can. And we're going to put it in first gear. And the important bit here is to avoid the steepest part of this drop. The car doesn't really like it. It really upsets it. So at this point, I'm right at the apex. Let's look at how much of the car I got on the right here. And you can see I'm not exactly kissing it. I'm leaving quite a gap here. In fact, I can probably squeeze another LMP2 here between the post and my car. So yeah, definitely try to avoid clipping it all the way. The bottom end won't like it. It will bottom out and it will snap on you. So keep that in mind. I'm still trail braking all the way into the apex. And complete most of the corner. Before I go back to the throttle, I want a straight car for the throttle here. I don't want to go too wide because I need to line up the car to the right here, or at least the middle of the track. So immediately 60%, and as I can straighten out the wheel back to 100, the car is just gonna grip. And I'm using quite a lot of the track, but not all of it. I don't want to put two wheels here at all, because I want to line the car up nice and easy to the right here. Line it up, second gear corner, very gentle, very neutral throughout this corner. There's no need for aggression at all here. You just want to carry the speed that you've managed to gather from the first corner. You don't want to be accelerating, you don't want to brake in too hard. You just want to be carrying the speed here. So I'm hugging the curb the whole way through. There's no real apex. I'm taking like a real long sweeper where I'm just hugging the inside. And I'm very gently probing for the grip with the throttle, 40% in the beginning, then up to 50, 60, and when I can see the outside, and let's look at it from the inside here, so you guys can see what my reference is. So if I'm going back here, and I'm starting to apply a little bit of throttle around this area, now there's not a lot of indication, it all looks pretty much the same. So just try to get a reference here. As the corner opens up, 40, 50, 60%, I know I can open up the wheel. You'll get the feel for it as you do 10, 15 laps. You'll know when you can start smashing it here. You want to be very gentle with the first initial application and then start applying more and more as you get close. I do not like putting too much of the car here first because it's a 1x second. You lose some grip and the back end snaps out and you lose time on this little straight here. That time is actually crucial because it's all about speed management or carrying the speed throughout this entire sector. And I'm braking. I don't know where I'm braking here. I don't really have an indication. There's not much of a brake marker here. I am braking early. I'm trying not to brake too hard into the corner. I want to be trail braking when I'm in the mid corner. So I'm braking in a nice shallow line, braking almost into the outside, into the middle of the track. I'm not trying to turn in too hard yet. As I downshift into first, which is right around here, as I downshift into first, I'm going to start applying a little bit more wheel and move into trail braking very softly, making sure the back end doesn't step out. It really likes to over rotate here, especially if you hit the traction control. Try not to be too aggressive on your initial entry, and that will help you a lot. And with not oversteering through this corner, and that's not something you want. You want to try to carry as much speed as you can. We're going very slowly. This car does not like to go slowly, so you have to be very, very gentle. A little bit of throttle application just to maintain the back end, just to make sure it doesn't kick out. And I'm gonna do the same for the second corner. It's a very small moment of acceleration, very short moment of acceleration, upshift into second, and I'm gonna lift again. The main goal here is just to let the car turn in. I'm lifting to let the car turn in, and then I'm maintaining throttle throughout the corner so the back end doesn't step out on the exit. I'm looking to get as much weight on the rear tires here as possible on the exit. Now avoid this curb. I've clipped the red stuff just a little bit. Any more than that, the cars start to bounce. You don't want that. You will not be able to get the power down. And abusing plenty of the curb on the outside. I mean, this green stuff, AstroTurf, you can abuse it quite a lot. Pretty much as I've done. A little bit more than that. It would have been a 1x. And you can clip this part as well. This green stuff, but not a lot. Don't overdo it. That's my exit line. Going all the way to the right again, and this isn't a very heavy braking point, so keep that in mind. You don't want to be braking hard, you want to carry the speed. You can carry an insane amount of speed into this corner. So right on the last cone, as the white line kind of meets this white line, very obvious braking point. I'm going to start braking around 50-60% for a millisecond, and immediately into trail braking from 5th to 3rd gear. And I'm just trail braking into the corner, trying to hug it on the inside the whole way through. You wanna get into the apex here quite late. You don't want to turn in too early because you want to be able to exit in the middle of the track. A little bit of throttle here, around 60-70% for a very short period of time. Right before I hit this curb, I'm gonna start braking again. And I'm not gonna brake very hard for a long time. I'm braking downhill. The car has a real tendency to lock up at right around here. You want to be in the middle of the track. That's where the rubber is. I haven't gained anything from trying to go all the way to the left here. So I like staying in the middle of the track. It will also prevent people from trying to dive bomb you. So it's a good strategy just to get used to being in the middle of the track here. And quite late into first gear. Trail braking. And as soon as I kind of know I'm in the camber, there's quite a bit of camber here as I'm going downhill. I would say this sort of area is the apex. Right before it, I'm going to start applying 40-50% of throttle. I was very stable on the exit here, so you can be quite aggressive. I'm going to open up the wheel. As I open up the wheel, I'm going to floor it. Let the car go to the outside, committing fully to catching this curb. You can either commit to keep your left wheels here, or commit to going all the way over it. Don't be halfway through. That's not a great idea. The car can beach. So as you can see, I got a lot of the car right here on the left, and full throttle, second gear, and we're through. All the way up to fifth gear, staying on the left the whole way through. I'm gonna start braking right after I hit this curb on the left, and I'm gonna put two wheels on it as well to maximize my approach. I'm braking quite late here, maybe 5 meters after I hit the curb, but again, this is because the track conditions were pretty good and the car is rather light. So you know, it kind of varies, 5 meters here or there on the hard braking points, depending on the condition of the track and the car. Braking very hard for a short period of time, 90% for a little bit, releasing it as I progress through. At this point, there's a dip. The car really likes to lock up here. Make sure that you reduce most of the speed that you need before you hit this crest. If you brake hard into it, you're just gonna lock up and continue straight forward. And let's continue. I'm gonna use it like a very, very, very late apex. I've seen two ways to go about this corner. One would be a double apex. Well, actually 3 ways. Double apex meaning you clip the first part of the corner, you go wide, and then you clip the second one. My way is to go all the way from the outside and clip it very late, downshift very late into the first, and turn it in at the last moment and going ham on throttle because the car is already straight and you've done most of your cornering at that point. And another way is just to hug it the whole way through, which I think is the least efficient way. So, you know, try to keep that in mind. I'm trying to carry the speed from the outside, just trail braking slightly, lots of camber here. I'm using it into first at this moment, so quite late. You can see I'm downshifting into first and I'm turning in harder now. As I downshift into first, I'm turning in quite hard and I'm starting to accelerate as I can feel the car gripping in the front. And I'm clipping this apex. As soon as I clip this apex, I know I'm safe. I'm very aggressive on the throttle, all the way up to 100%, letting the car go all the way to the outside. I'm not worried about this curb at all. Second gear, and we're through. Now, Schumacher S, well, pretty straightforward stuff with this car. Even with cold tires, you can take it flat out. I mean, depending on track conditions, of course, but probably with most track conditions, most situations, you'll be able to take it flat out. I've clipped this curb. I actually don't recommend it. Try to turn in a little bit later. If you clip it a little bit too much, it could cause some snap oversteer, and it's very hard to recover from that going this quickly. So keep that in mind. Going all the way here to the outside and to the outside again. Trying to minimize my wheel input just to save tires. Now looking for a braking point here. First thing is very crucial. You can steal a little bit from after the white line. Let's look at it from the, I'll show you 2 lines here. I'll show you 2 views, I mean, from the outside and the inside. So look at where I'm positioning my car. I'll go over the braking point in a second. Look at where I'm positioning my car. I'm starting to turn in quite late, and I'm grabbing as much as I can from the right here. A little bit more than that, so 1x. Keep that in mind. Find that sweet spot. It really helps for the entry though. Trying to lay off the brake after that white line on the road. I'll show you that again in a second. And I'm clipping this curb nicely, putting 2 wheels on the green stuff into second gear. Don't try to carry third here because you want to accelerate very hard. Now I'm not using too much of the road here on the right. You can definitely clip more of this curb, but I want to line up the car as fast as I can to the left here, so I'm not going to abuse it too much. Let's take a look at it from the inside now. Meow. Nice and slow. Look for a braking point right before the 100. I would say right around here where I'm starting to brake. I'm going to start releasing the brakes after the white line, turning in slightly before that. Into second gear. Diagonally into the curb here, and already on the throttle on the way out. The 50% throttle here when you leave the curb really helps balance the car out, making sure you got plenty of pressure on the rear wheels, doesn't snap the rear end out. And I'm gonna floor it right after I finish the corner completely. I'm not gonna floor it too early because I already want to line the car up diagonally to the left here. It's very crucial to get a good entry here. Try to carry the speed as much as you can because there's a long straight after that. So I'm going not all the way. You can I definitely recommend going all the way to the left here. So keep that in mind. And very neutral here. So a little bit of trail braking, very modular. And I'm not committing to any particular movement. I'm clipping the brakes a little bit just to keep the pressure on the fronts. Basically, I'm coasting through this corner. I'm using the downforce to give me all the turn-in that I need. The brakes are just as a precaution. They don't cost me too much time. And I'm just maintaining the grip on the front. And in the long run, it'll also help you save tires. And I'm going to be very early on the throttle because of it. And the car is going to kick loose just a little bit, which is exactly what I want. That's why I've been so aggressive. If you're less aggressive than that, the car is not going to kick loose. It really depends on the setup too. But because I was aggressive with the setup, the backhand started to kick loose, and that's exactly what I wanted. Into third gear here, using all of the curb on the exit. Nothing special here, just take a nice short route, and we're looking for a braking point right before the 50. Cold tires, cold brakes, I would brake a little bit earlier than that, but this is pretty much where you should brake. Braking very hard for a very short period of time from 6th to 4th gear. Trying to trail brake as I turn in. I'm looking to clip this one as much as I can. I don't want to clip this part of the curb. I just want to put the car as much as I can over here. Any more than that will be a 1x. And I'm already accelerating through it. And the only reason I'm doing that is to maintain speed and maintain stability. Stability being the most crucial point here. The car is really bouncing. It's a really nasty part of the track for this car, so you just want to maintain the throttle. As I'm gonna turn in right here, I'm gonna lift again, just to prevent the understeer, because I don't want to catch the curb on the outside. You can catch the curb on the outside with certain setups. I don't like doing it with this setup. The car gets beached, so it depends. But I don't like it. I don't think it's good for the tires, and for a long run, I don't want to be there all the time when I'm racing. So I'm gonna lift again, and big lift. And as soon as I know the car is settled down, I'm not gonna release it fully because I'm still using the throttle to maintain the car. But big lift to around 20%, coming back to the throttle very aggressively as I know the car is settled down and safe. Now, there's no braking point here, so you know, try to get a reference for yourself. Rule of thumb, obviously, brake early. The straight here is super crucial to have a good exit on, and it's gonna determine your lap time for the next lap too. So in a race, it's really important to get a good exit out of here. If you need to compromise your entry by a 10th to get a 10th back on the straight, that's actually worth it in my opinion, because the turn number 1 is a really crucial braking point. It's an overtaking spot, so you want to get a good exit here every time. Braking very early, 60-70%, not too much because it's very bumpy when you brake here. It's very easy to lock up and the car will get upset. Around 60-70%. Again, I'm braking early, so I don't have to brake so hard. I'm also saving the tires, and I'm trying to carry the speed from the middle of the track. I'm not trying to go too wide here into the inside. This being my apex, sort of, or a little bit after that, this bollard. And I'm trying to hug it as much as I can and look at it from the outside for a second. You can see I was quite far here, and you actually want to be a little bit closer. Definitely don't put two wheels on the curb. You start spinning your wheels in the air and you won't be able to put the power down. But if you can get a little bit closer than that, definitely 10 out of 10. 50% throttle. Let's look at it from the inside actually. 50% throttle still. I'm not committing too early. As I open up the wheel, I'm going flat out. Second gear the whole way through. Do not use first. You want that stability. And using the curb on the way out, as long as you put two wheels, your two right wheels are on the white line sort of area, you won't get a 1x. And that will give us a lap of a 140.513. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think about it, and hop over my Discord as well. That's it. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.